Welcome back to the Chelsweets kitchen. Today I'm sharing with you guys how to grow your cake business on social media. So in my last episode I shared how to start a cake business from home, and this is part 2 once you've established your business. So social media is a really great way to get your name out there and is a great opportunity to show all of your clients what you can do. It really is an online portfolio, and having the ability to share different types of media, like you can do videos, you could do behind the scenes footage, you could do photos of your finished products. It really gives everyone a different perspective and a better view on your processes and your abilities as a baker. So with that in mind, when you're creating a social media page, like on Instagram or Facebook, or even if you want to create a YouTube channel, there are a few things that you need to keep in mind to help people stay engaged with your content and to help you grow in terms of followers. So I'm going to discuss a few topics today, including quality of your posts, consistency, different media types like videos or photos, how to get people more engaged with what you're sharing, different trends in the baking world, and last but not least, collaborations. So the first topic I mentioned was quality, and quality of your posts is super important. I see so many times on Instagram these beautiful cakes that people have put in the corner of their kitchen. It's dim, it's not well lit, and they take photos of them and you can barely see the cake. The colors aren't vibrant, you can't really see what's going on, and it's just not the cake at its best. People can't really see how beautiful it is. So lighting is so key when it comes to content that you're sharing. So I have 2 huge balloon lights here that are super bright and are great for filming both videos and for taking photos, but I didn't always used to have this setup. Way back in the day when I first started my Instagram page, I used to take my finished cakes and I would literally take them out onto the street or actually into an alley behind my building that had a nice little setup, and the lighting was fantastic there. And I loved taking my photos there, and it kind of gave my page a cohesive look, and all of my photos had similar lighting, and it looked great when you scrolled through my top 9 or top 12 posts. They all had a similar vibe to them, and that really gives your page a sense of cohesion, and that's what you're after. You want to have a look that is your own, and when people see it or see a post of yours, they'll instantly recognize that it's you who's sharing it. The next topic is consistency. Consistency can mean a lot of different things. Like I was mentioning earlier, having a consistent look on your posts is important, and also being consistent in when you post. So it doesn't mean that you have to post, once a day or 3 times a day or twice a week. It kind of comes down to how much content you have and when the best time for you to post is. I found that posting once a day works great for me. And that doesn't mean that you can't post twice a day if you want to, or you post every other day if you don't make as many cakes each week. However, having kind of a set schedule and posting at a time when people seem to really engage with your content is a really great way to have higher engagement on your posts. You can kind of play around with this and maybe try posting in the morning or after work or late in the evening, and kind of see when people seem to engage the most, and then whatever time is best for you, you can try to share at that time each day or whenever you do choose to post. So it's really great to make sure that you're posting consistently, because if you take a 3-week hiatus and you don't post anything, people are going to forget that your page even exists. They're not going to be as engaged with it, and it might get kind of lowered in terms of the algorithm. It might not pop up at the top of people's feeds if they haven't seen anything from you in a few weeks and they haven't liked anything of yours. However, if you're posting regularly and people are liking your content, I think that you will be placed higher in the algorithm on people's feeds, and they will see your content more frequently. So like I mentioned earlier, for consistency, it's also important to have a consistent look or a consistent feel to your videos or photos. So whether you're using similar cake stands, or you're shooting in a similar space, or you just kind of use the same style of photography, all of that can help create a unique look that is your own. For me, a lot of my videos are shot here in my kitchen. I use bright lights that focus on the cake, and my background is kind of dimly lit, which really helps draw attention to the cake. And I usually only include my hands. I don't usually include my face, and I think that look has given my posts a unique identity. So I've had people come up to me and say, like, oh, I saw your video on some big page on Facebook and I totally recognized your hands. And that is great. That's what you're after. You want people to be able to see a video or photo and know that it's yours. The third topic I wanted to cover is different types of media. So on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, you can share short form videos, long form videos, photos, and you now can also share stories, you can do boomerangs. There's so many different things that you can do. And these are all great ways to target different groups of people and to show your cakes or your baked goods in all different lights. So my Instagram page was fine, and I think that last July I was at about 40,000 followers, which, you know, I had been working really hard to post regularly, post great quality photos, and really try to engage with everyone on different social platforms to grow my following. However, in July of 2016, I made a bold move and I bought these 2 big balloon lights, I bought a tripod, and I decided to attempt to make my first cake video. You know, I'd seen these videos on Instagram and they were so fun. It really gives you the whole story of how a cake is made, the different steps that people use, the different styles that people have, even in terms of frosting and decorating. And I just thought it was mesmerizing. And I thought, you know, I should be able to make a video. I'm making all these cakes, why not share that with everyone else? So I did my setup and I made my first video. And the footage was not the best, and neither were my editing skills. But my video got incredible reach. I think that my first video that I shared got over 100,000 views, and at the time that was more than twice the number of followers I had. So right after that I realized, like, oh my gosh, like, video is the way to go. And I think that all of you guys have probably noticed that Instagram is prioritizing videos these days, and it's much easier to make it on the Explore page or to get discovered through videos. So it is challenging, and you know, it's a lot more work because you have to record, you know, tons of footage. You also have to edit the footage, you have to figure out software for that. However, it's totally worth it if you're trying to grow your following, because people are going to respond to your videos and they're going to enjoy watching them, they're going to get high engagement, and it really is the way to grow on social media. The thought of creating a cake video, if you never have before, can be a bit intimidating, and it is hard to get started, but once you get over that first hurdle, it really becomes a lot easier. So the things that are really important to keep in mind if you want to start making your own cake videos are lighting, camera, or how you're going to stabilize your phone or a DSLR to make sure that it's nice and steady throughout the process, and last but not least, the editing software that you're going to use to edit the footage. So I'm going to share in the links below what lights I use, the tripod that I use for my camera, the type of camera that I use, and I'm also going to share the editing software that I use. So definitely check out the description below for all of those details. I also mentioned boomerangs and kind of behind the scenes footage. So with Insta Stories, you can, you know, share little snippets of you making a cake or ingredients you're using or some silly behind the scenes, and you can put it on your story for 24 hours and people can see that and get a better feel for maybe your personality or the type of space you work in, and that can really help people see your baking in a whole new way. I love it because whenever I share videos, it's, you know, very well lit and very structured and edited perfectly, but behind the scenes I think kind of helps people see that I'm a real person and they see what really goes on in my kitchen, and it's not always as perfect as it looks on social media. So it's a great way to kind of interject your personality into your page, because even if you're going for a consistent look with your Insta Stories, you can be more creative and be a little bit more lax with the quality of content that you're posting, and you can really make it more personal. There's also different things you can do with boomerangs, or, you know, you can rewind a video and make it go backwards. You can use fun filters, and all of that can help people feel more connected to you. So speaking of connecting with people, the next topic is engagement. And this is a big topic, especially when you're a small page and you're really trying to grow. So when people are commenting on your posts or being supportive or are reaching out to you and sending you a DM or a direct message, you want to respond as much as you can and to everyone that you can, because the more that you respond to people, it's going to create kind of more activity on your post, and it's going to, number one, help you connect with your followers and really make them feel appreciated, and it also is going to make your post seem like more people are interested in it, and it'll boost it in the algorithm. So that's important, and it also is great to use hashtags at the end of your posts. And that sounds pretty silly, but a lot of people will click on the hashtag, you know, chocolate cake or hashtag buttercream. And it's really a great way to get your name out there into the world, so when people are scrolling through or are bored and are looking at some hashtag that interests them, your picture or video might pop up, or if you're lucky, it might be one of the top posts of that hashtag, and that makes it really easy for people to find you and discover your content. The hardest part is if you're just starting a page, if you have under 1,000 followers and you're really trying to get over that first hurdle, it can be really difficult to get your name out there. And that's where I think a lot of people get stuck. And being featured is a great way for people to help find your page. So if you use certain hashtags or you follow big pages that repost a lot of content, you can use their hashtags at the end of your posts, and if they see your content and they like it, they'll reshare it. And that's how I got over my first hurdle when I was starting my Instagram page. I was featured by Infatuation. If you can get featured by a big page that has a lot of followers and a lot of exposure, it can get you a ton of followers. And I think once you get over certain thresholds, when people click on your page, if they see you have X number of followers, you're like, wow, wait, let me look through their content. What are they creating? I should follow them. It's just like this intuitive thing the second that you see someone's page. So it's really hard to get over that first bump. But once you get over that first hurdle, it gets easier as you go, and your page will start to build momentum, and you can really start to increase your number of followers. But it's hard to know what pages do repost, what hashtags you should be using to get featured, and that just takes a bit of legwork. You really do need to kind of explore Instagram yourself and find other pages that seem to repost a lot of baking, or that repost a lot of extreme sweets that you think you could get featured on, or other pages that you think your content would be great on their page. You also can reach out to other large pages and send them a DM and say like, hey, I make a lot of cakes. If you ever need any content to share that's cake related, you can totally use any of mine. That can also help get your name out there as well. But it does take a lot of legwork, and you do kind of need to wade through all the different pages out there to figure out what hashtags you need to use and who the best people are to follow in terms of gaining exposure. So another way that you can get people really engaged in your posts kind of leads into our next topic of cake trends or baking trends. So you don't necessarily have to jump on every cake bandwagon that comes along, like mirror glazes or drip cakes. It doesn't mean that you have to follow the trends or do what everyone else is doing. But if there is a certain type of decoration or a certain type of cake that people seem to really respond well to, there's nothing wrong with trying to produce more content that kind of follows that style or includes certain ingredients. For example, I think about a year ago, mirror glazes were so popular. And I actually made a YouTube tutorial on mirror glazes, an easy mirror glaze tutorial. And it got so much traffic, and it was not any special video, but it was just that it was a topic that was being heavily searched, that everyone wanted to make at the time, and it really helped me gain a lot of followers and get a lot of views across all of my platforms. So it's really great to kind of stay in tune with the trends of the time, and in general, just making content that you know that people are going to enjoy. The last topic I wanted to cover was collaborations. And this can kind of vary depending on how far in you are on different social platforms or who you know and how well connected you are in the baking world. But doing collaborations is a great way to boost your following and also to get to know other people. So I've been fortunate enough to do some collaborations with some really great people that I've met here in New York City, including Miss Ladyfinger, who's a nail artist, who I actually met when I worked at L'Oreal. I also did one with Mr. Crisp, who makes the most amazing Rice Krispie art, and she actually just came out with a book. But being able to partner with them is great because we're creating something that both of us can work on. Kind of like this win-win situation. It's a great way to tap into different networks. So it can be hard if you don't know a ton of other bakers. It doesn't have to be a baker. Like Taryn is a nail artist, and we were somehow able to incorporate a nail design into a cake design and kind of do both at the same time. So you can get creative, and anyone that you think that you can collaborate with and also who can help inspire a new cake look or a new cake design is another great way to grow your social media following. So thanks so much for tuning in today. If you guys have any questions that I didn't answer, feel free to ask in the comments below, and I will try to answer as many as I can. Also, let me know what other topics you'd like me to cover. I'm happy to share everything that I learned along my cake journey, and I hope you guys will tune in again soon. See you later.